If you are not clickable, then you're not going to make sales. I really don't care. I'm actually telling you what I'm doing in my business, how I make more money. 5 all day? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you writing novels in the description? Hey guys, welcome back to my channel via Glow. If you're new here, my name is Gloria and I'm a full-time reseller on multiple different apps, and I resell clothes and shit. So in today's video, I actually want to go over 13 things that helped me double my sales in just a matter of 4 months. Now, I did get this idea from a viewer. They asked me a question like, girl, what did you do to get to this point? So I was like, you know what? Instead of me answering it here, I'm gonna make a video about it. So I did jot down 13 things. Nothing is in a particular order. It's just literally everything that came to mind when she initially asked me the question. I was just like, let me write everything down real quick so I can remember. So again, these are not in any particular order. These are just things that I've noticed actually help me grow my business to the point that it is thriving, okay? And I wanted to talk to you guys about it, so let's just jump in. So the first thing is actually I bumped up my listings to 400 a month. Now that was probably the most hardest thing I've ever done, okay? And I remember, of course, documenting it in my vlogs, and I remember talking about just how hard it was and how exhausted I was and how I wanted to stop, because I went from doing maybe like, I want to say maybe 20 to 30 new listings a week, like no set days. When I went full-time in 2021, I didn't really have any set days. I just would go thrift it and then I would list it, and I think I used to thrift maybe 2 to 3 times a week because I was not a mother and I had ample time to do whatever I wanted. So I just would, you know, source and then list. And as time moved on, I started seeing people saying, hey, you need to list every day, you need to be consistent, da da da. So I was like, okay, I'm gonna go that route. So I was pregnant, so it was really hard to try to get 10 listings up 7 days a week. And I think I ended up saying like, okay, one day I'm just gonna take that day off. So I cut it down to 6 days a week and I'll do 12 listings. Then it went to 15 listings a day for 5 days a week. And then out of nowhere in November, I said, you know what? I'm gonna do 20 listings Monday through Friday. And it worked, but it didn't. I was going through postpartum depression and I was just trying to fight through it and just get my work done. But it was just so hard, just having to be a mother, dealing with things, as well as trying to just keep my business afloat. So I said, you know what would be better for my mental health is to only work 4 days a week. Because at that time I was still with my partner, my ex-partner, so my son's dad. I was still with him, and he worked Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, 12-hour days. So it would just be me and my son all day. And to take the stress away from me working that one day on Friday, because my son just was a Velcro baby, I just was like, you know what, I'm just gonna cut this day out as well as the other days. So I started to say, okay, well, I'm gonna do 25 Monday through Thursday. And ever since then, my business has been booming, okay? So another one is I only pick up items that have a potential to sell for $20 and over. Now, when I say potential, that means that if I pick up this item and I notice that the selling range is between like 18 to 25, or of course more is the goal. But let's just say it's one of those like low tier saturated brands, but it does flip. I have to make sure that there's no flaw. So if I pick up this piece that I paid $1 for and I plan on flipping it for $20, it has to have no flaws. There is certain brands, of course, that you can pick up and you're still able to flip for $30, $40, $50 with flaws. But when you pick up those low-hanging fruit items, no flaws is the best way to go, so you can make sure you get that $20 bill from that item. So that is one of the biggest things that I remember implementing that helped me a lot, because it opened the door. Because I do think when you are a high ASP seller, there's a lot of missed opportunities on making money on items. Now, with me bumping mine up to 20, there's missed opportunities for me to sell things for $10 to $12. But I felt like during the transition from leaving those items behind to only picking up items that are going to flip for $20 and over, I've realized that I don't mind the padded sales, because those $10 to $20 flips are great padded sales, but I don't want a lot of those. The goal is to not have that many. Now, those work in tune when I'm selling $20, $30, $40, $60 items, and then I get a little $12 sale just to kind of pad the sale for the day, but not to get, you know, 3, 4 of those, you know, $10 sales. Like, that's not my goal here. So I set a goal when I go into my outlet is to pick up an item that I can flip for $20 minimum. Now, some things will sell for $16 or $17 because I'm sending out an offer and I want the item flushed out. Other than that, I know that if I just sat on it and never send out offers, it would still sell for that $20 profit. And then another one is actually factor stacking. So the terminology, I feel like we all got that from Kaylee Elaine. She is the GOAT. But I do factor stack. Now, I've been doing this, I want to say, since the beginning of the year mostly, and it was more so fabric based than it was anything else. Now I've migrated to style, to size, to you know, uniqueness. Like, it's so many more things you can plug in to get that item to sell. But I feel like when you are factor stacking, it actually helps you in the long run to make sure you are narrowing down that item and knowing that you'll be able to sell it. Otherwise, you'll just be picking up things. And I'll be honest, if y'all watch my vlogs, you already know I am liquidating items, you know, I want to say like biannually from my store, because I was picking it up during a time I didn't know better. Now I know better. So, and you know, biannually, I won't be liquidating as many items as I used to, because I don't have to flush out bad buys because I don't pick up those anymore, you know? So I feel like just keep factor stacking in your mind, and remember, size, brand also helps, fabric. And then I've also actually started picking up style-based pieces this year. Now, this one was probably the hardest thing to do, because you want to pick up guaranteed sales, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to pick up items that you know for a fact are going to sell. So when you pick up an item that is style-based, you are playing, I don't even want to say playing with fire because that seems a bit excessive, but you are ifing it, you are chancing it, because you don't know if that item is going to sell, because you only pick it up off of style. The brand is not carrying it, and typically a brand or a size need to carry an item, for the most part anyways, or a fabric content. But if you were picking it up strictly off of style, and y'all know I've done 2 videos regarding keywords and aesthetics, so with those type of videos, if you know, let's say I'll pull something, a cottage core piece. Now you pick this piece up, it's like milk-made, it has like chiffon material, and it's flowy, and right now I'm in my mind right now I'm thinking of cottage core, I'm thinking of ethereal, I'm thinking of what is the other word, like a coquette style. Like, I am able to pick up items and know exactly what keywords and aesthetics I plan on using for this item in order for it to sell. Now with these, I don't really stack many factors when it comes to style-based pieces, because I've noticed that no matter if it's an extra small, small, medium, large, extra large, 2X, 3X, maybe not a 3X. I feel like I stop it at about 2X if I'm being honest. But the side range doesn't really matter when it's a style-based pickup, because the girls are always looking for stuff no matter what size they are. And that actually leads me into the Resellers Edge University. Now, I do want to briefly talk about them because they are the main factor as to why I wanted to start picking up style-based pieces, because your girl never really been into style-based pieces. I've always liked to pick up pieces that I know are going to sell. But when I got into the Resellers Edge University, I've noticed that these things sell without a brand to them, strictly off of style. Now in this group, they are catered to beginners, intermediate, and advanced resellers. Now, it doesn't really matter which stage you are in your business. If you are willing to learn new information and want to soak up some things, this group is a group for you. So you'll actually learn vital information like how to manage your business, how to market your items, how to source outside your comfort zone, and then also you'll learn about wholesale if you are interested in that. The group is actually community based, so of course we have our wonderful mentors, but you'll also have your peers to also learn from, and I want to say that they are incredibly knowledgeable. Now, they actually provide modules and spreadsheets. So the modules, of course, they're all kind of like, they're video based, so that means that you'll be able to watch them whenever you can at your leisure. And then they also have spreadsheets. Now the spreadsheets are very informative because you're able to, of course, click on them and look through them, download them, whatever is going to work for you, and you're able to cater it to your business. And I feel like if you need some type of alignment in your business, those spreadsheets are going to help you with that. Now they do provide 3 live calls a week. I believe it's Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Saturday. They just recently added a bi-weekly call of like a live listing. So I watch all of them, I'll be honest. So but I watched this one because this one also helps you navigate on how to get your listings together in order to be able to market it and sell it to the right buyer. So yeah, all of those live calls are very, very, very informative. I do think that they are the anchor to Reseller's Edge in my personal opinion. And then they have a BOLO list. So they actually update the BOLO list like all the time. So of course it's good to stay refreshed, but what makes it even better is that they put a photo of the brand right beside it. I'm great at taking like a mental photo of things. So it's much easier to remember this is Flint and Tinder versus just saying Flint and Tinder. Like I can take a mental photo of the tag and then I know like, okay, that's what I'm gonna look for when I'm at the bins. So they also have a Facebook group, which I feel like is probably one of the best things of the group, just because I feel like it's help at your fingertips. So the last thing that I want to talk about with Reseller Edge is they have a orientation for newbies. Now this one is incredibly helpful because if you are not a person that likes to explore things on your own, that is such a great thing to have for newbies, because sometimes it is hard, like you pay for something and you're in and you're like, okay, now what? But I feel like with the orientation, it's definitely going to help you get to where you need to go. So yes, that's it. So if you guys are interested at all with the Reseller's Edge University, I do have a 50% off code linked down below, and I will pop up my code on the screen. But yeah, just click the link down below and then just type in @VIAGLOW for the code so you can get 50% off your very first month of Reseller's Edge University. And then another one is actually just knowing a lot of different brands. Since I've been doing this for 3 years full-time, 4 years, you know, in general, I have learned so much about brands. I know what brands to pick up, which brands to pass on, and to just kind of like narrow down what brands does well, what brands don't do well, what does well in the brand. Like it's just so much that I feel like you have to really know. So yeah, being knowledgeable about brands is really important. And I feel like I am constantly learning. I do watch a lot of YouTube, and of course I do take it with a grain of salt. I do my own research, but I do think just knowing and familiarizing yourself with those really great brands is a good thing to have in your back pocket. Another one is testing out new brands and doing the research. So I come across a lot of different brands at the bins, which I absolutely love, because I'm able to pick up an item and, you know, quickly see like, okay, this one is sellable, but let me see what the brand looks like. And the tag may not look like something worth looking into, but you know, I'll decide to look into it. Then come to find out this is a great brand. And that has happened so many times when I've been at the bins. So I feel like always learning is really important. Don't think, oh, okay, I know enough. It's like, no, you want to learn more. Okay. So that is one thing that I do pride myself on. And I know for a fact it has helped me grow my business, because I've picked up a shit ton of brands that I would have never thought to, you know, take a second glance at a thrift store or hell at the bins a year ago. Like I really got into my head to say, hey girl, it's time for you to widen your horizon. Listing quickly has also been a pillar in my success. I will be doing a separate video on how I list quickly, but I do think that that is so important. I've watched a few YouTubers talk about how the listing process takes them forever. It was one reseller, I remember her talking about how she does 5 listings a day and it takes her all day to do them, and I'm just like, 5 all day? Like, what are you doing? Like, are you writing novels in the description? What's going on? Like, what's not clicking, you know? But we're all different. So yeah, like I said, I'll be making a separate video on how I list a lot quicker, but that has definitely helped, because 25 items a day is no small feat. Okay, that is a lot. I don't care what anybody says. Like, I know that some people think like, okay, it's just 25. But that's a lot for one person. I don't have a VA, I don't have an assistant, I don't have anybody. It's just me, okay? It's me, myself, and I do every single thing in my business. So 25 is a lot, and I'm able to get those out quickly, okay? Utilizing services has also been like very important to me. I am a huge cross lister. I've been cross listing since I've been a reseller, essentially. Literally 1 month in from me reselling on Depop, I started cross-listing to Mercari. So I've been big on cross-listing, so I do believe in having a cross-listing service. I'm actually in the process of transitioning to a new one that is going to make everything much more streamlined for me across all of my platforms. But I use a cross-listing service currently. It's Flip, and then I also use 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂. Now 𝕃𝕀ℕ𝕂 just pretty much helps me run my business on Poshmark, and I do think it actually helps me make more sales because I'm not doing anything. All I have to do is pay this bot monthly, and it does everything that I need it to do, like send offers, delist old items, share my closet, because Poshmark wants you to share your shit. Really is about activity on the app. But yeah, so that is very important to me, and I like to make sure that I have services to help me with that because I can't do everything on my own, you know? And then another one is just keeping my cost of goods really low. Okay, y'all know I'm a Benz girl. I'm a Benz girl through and through. I actually just went to a thrift store yesterday in my vlog that y'all will be seeing on Thursday, and I have to say, like, I love the Benz. Yeah, maybe I don't know what it is, but the cost of goods are just incredibly low, and it's so much more easier to make a huge profit on my item when the cost of goods is low. Now, I'm not saying that that's what you need to do, but I'm just saying that's what I did, and it worked for me. And it has continued to show me that it is very important for me to continue to source at the bins, because sometimes what's out there at my thrift stores are not those super great Bolo brands. So if I can pay $1 and flip it for $20, $30, $40, I'm gonna do that. Paying $10 for an item that I probably can sell for maybe $25 is just not in my business model. So yeah, going to the bins is the best thing that I've ever done. And I'll be honest with y'all, like, what, 2.5 years ago, I was so scared. I was so nervous to go to the bins. I went for the very first time, and I still wasn't comfortable enough to keep going alone. So my boyfriend at the time had to go with me. My sister ended up going with me. But ever since I got over the hump and I was able to find the highest sale at that time, was a Taylor Swift cardigan, literally sitting in a picked over bin. Picked it up, sold it for $350. And ever since then, I said, you know what? I think it might be in my best interest to start implementing the bins more often, because that one kind of just lit a fire up under me, but I still wasn't that serious about it. I still was like, oh, I don't like it. It's dusty. The people are overstimulating me because they are all like digging so fast, like they're crowding around the bin. Like, I used to get so overstimulated at the bins, but I got to a point where it's just like, okay, let's just go to the picked over bins. You don't have to mess with these new bins and all these crazy people. And honestly, since I developed that and I just put my music in, it has helped me in the long run to be able to go to my bins and not really trip out or have FOMO over new bins, because I know literally about 75% of the time they're gonna leave something behind, because what's happening is they're digging, but they're not looking, they're just digging. The next one is pricing my items correctly. Now, this has been something that I have to work on as time went on, but I do think that has also been a huge thing in my business as to why I'm able to make as much money as I make now solo, because I'm able to price my items correctly. Now, you know, I price strategically. My prices are not one set price across all the platforms I list on. I have done my research per platform to see what is the price point, what is the range, and then I also take into account like the item that I have. I want $20 minimum on that item already in my head when I listed it, so I know that as I move along on each platform, that is the bare minimum that I'm going to sell that item for, is $20. This can really sell for, you know, $30. Like, no, I'm not doing that. I've already taken into account this is tall bits, okay? Even though it's plus size, don't get me wrong, it's still sellable, but I'm not going to overprice it so then I have to sit and wait for the right buyer to come along. No ma'am, I want to get it out the door as quickly as possible, so I'm going to price it in the window, because I notice when I look in the window, this item is only selling for $20 to $25. So that is like my mindset, and I feel like I move it along and I don't have an attachment to these items. Some items, don't get me wrong, I do, because they're good items and I know that they can go for more, but a lot of the pieces I don't have an attachment to, and I feel like that's also important in growing your business, is to release yourself from the emotional attachment to these items, because they are simply just dollar bills waiting to be put in your hand, and you have to remember that. So just don't get crazy. Then another thing I've done to help me keep the monions in my pocket is to not promote. Now this is definitely controversial, and I'll be completely honest with you. Please don't be the person in my comments to say, well, I promote my closet and I make a lot of money. I really don't care. I'm actually telling you what I'm doing in my business, how I make more money, and that is not giving these platforms any more of my money. Since Poshmark started their promotions, I've never done it, not once. They keep sending like, oh, you should do, you get 40%. I don't give a shit. I'm not doing it. So I'm not promoting on Poshmark. I don't promote on eBay. I actually stopped July of 2023 promoting on eBay, and of course I saw a dip in my sales the first couple of months. Afterwards my sales went back to normal, and of course it's gonna happen because they're upset that they are losing out on money, and it is what it is. I know Depop has a boosting method. I'm not doing that. Mercari, let me not say never, but I very rarely drop my prices on Mercari. Like, they do have a promotion aspect where you have to lower your price by 10%, but I don't, and yeah, I've been good. I probably could do it, you know, but I don't even want to play with it anymore. Like, I feel like promoting is good when you have to promote. I feel like I have worked out a way where I don't have to promote when it comes to eBay, because I went a different route, and yeah, no promoting for me, and I get to keep all of my money. SEO, now this one is also incredibly important. I have changed my structure at which I title my item as, because I feel like it is important. Now I know that people say that the SEO is different across different platforms, but I just keep the same thing. And honestly, I saw an uptick when I first started building out my title the way that I do now. I saw an uptick in my sales versus what the titles used to be, where it would be like, you know, brand and then item and size or something. I don't know. So my current title structure is actually brand, gender, item, size, and a whole bunch of keywords. And it works. I know sometimes I will play with the idea of putting brand, gender, fabric content, and then item, and then size. So if it's like cashmere, I want them to be able to see that instantly. So yeah, I think SEO is incredibly important. You have to build your title to appeal to somebody that is going to look for it. So let's just say you're a buyer and you're looking for something. I'm going to use this actually as a great example. So for my birthday, maybe a couple of weeks before my birthday, I wanted a milkmaid top. Now you already know what I'm working with, okay? So I wanted a milkmaid top because I'm like, you know what, I want the girls to be out today. So I specifically went into Mercari, Depop, and Poshmark, and I put milkmaid top. I didn't give a shit about the brand. As long as it wasn't Shein, I didn't care who it came from. So I went in and I put milkmaid top. Of course, you know, listings came up, but let's be honest, if you are a person that just put, I know Taubes don't make milkmaid, but let's just say I am Gia top, ruched bust. I didn't look for a ruched bust. I looked for a milkmaid top because that's a keyword that the girls are searching for. So you have to be real specific when you list your items, because you have to think as a buyer. Now, sometimes I am able to describe my item in my title. I do describing, keywords, and aesthetics. So it's always a mixture. I don't just put, you know, the basic and then a whole bunch of keywords. No, I make sure that I put things that is also going to describe the item, because some people are looking for a v-neck top, some people are looking for a popover style top. So I feel like you just got to get real specific with your SEO, and I've learned that over the years that it's incredibly important to make sure you are clickable. If you are not clickable, then you're not going to make sales. All right, and then the last thing is I developed a work schedule. Now for everybody it's going to look different because we have different things going on in our lives. Currently I am co-parenting, so I am not a full-time mom. I am a part-time mom because his dad has them for the other half of the week. So I made sure I strategically have a work schedule that is going to work for 3.5 days out of the week, and that works for me. So I know for a fact that they are still full-time moms, full-time resellers. I recognize that I can't do both. We all have different babies. My baby is not a chill baby, you know what I'm saying? He's a toddler now, but he wasn't a chill baby. So I had to figure out what was going to work best for me, and it was taking those days off so I could fully attend to him, because even during nap times it wasn't going to work. So like I said, I have a work schedule, and currently Monday through Thursday works best for me, and I'm able to spend all the time that I can with my son on the days that I have him, and I just don't let those collide, you know. And it has been overgrown, because I want to say when I first went full-time, my work schedule looked like me waking up at 9 a.m., packaging sales, going thrifting, and then taking a nap, and then listing the items, and then editing a video. That is what my workday used to look like. And I used to be up at 9 a.m., take a nap about 5 p.m., and then wake up and then work until 1 a.m. And that was my schedule in the beginning for a while. And then it went to, okay, I'm working at, you know, 8 a.m. to about 6 p.m. And then it went to, I'm working at 6 a.m. to about 4. And then now I'm pretty stacked up. If you watch my vlogs, you already see what time it is. I work about 10 to 12 hours each day, Monday through Thursday, depending on what the day holds for me. But if I really just got down to just the nitty gritty of like, okay, we wake up, we go sourcing, because like I said, I like to do every single thing every single day, because it keeps me able to balance everything versus me doing one bulk task a day. I've recognized that that does not work for me. I can't focus, I'll be honest. I can't focus if I only have to do one task each day. It would literally drive me mad. So every single day I source, I ship, what else do I do? I prep, I steam, I measure, I list, I cross list, and I do that every single day, Monday through Thursday. And it works for me. It's kind of like a job, like a regular 9 to 5. You do the same shit every single day, and that's what I do. I do the same shit every single day, and that's my work schedule. But I do think developing a work schedule is probably the best way to go about it, just because you'll kind of really keep yourself accountable, and you'll make sure that you know what is going to happen at what time. I typically like to have a schedule build out for each one of my days, like, hey, this and this needs to get done today. Time blocking is probably the best way to go about it. That's pretty much it. Those are all the things that I feel like I've done to help me grow my business to the point that it is thriving. And of course, I think I've told y'all, but I plan on bumping up my listing just by a little bit, just so I can, get over the $7,000 hump each month. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.